Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 21st of May. So starting off looking at the pound dollar, and at this moment the pound's looking soft. In fact, looking across the markets, I was just sort of looking at the sort of strength here, and it's a common theme that the US dollar has strengthened throughout yesterday, sort of later afternoon through the Asian session there. Following on from that, well, the only things that are stronger really at the moment is, or as strong, nearly as strong. Then next, you're sort of really looking at the euro dollar. So the pound certainly seems to be the weakest this morning. I'm just sort of looking through here, as is the Australian dollar, both taking, the pound and Australian dollar taking a bit more of a beating. Yen sits in the middle there. So just getting a feel for the market just from the price action that's sort of occurred, looking at them in percentage changes. So as I said, the biggest sort of percentage changes are things like the pound and the Aussie to quite some extent. Actually, the Aussie sold off. So let's have a look at what this means. So the pound dollar, as I said, we're starting with that this morning. So yesterday's run into, and it's sort of got this sort of theme, and it's hanging on around its daily 50 there, and it seems no difference. It sort of pulls away from it, pulls back to it, and then pulls away from it again, and it's looking pretty much like it's moving away at this stage, this earlier point in the day. Coming down the time frames, well, arguably bear flag sort of pattern that was sort of formed on this 4 hourly, and it's looking, as I say, looking really soft. So there's two indications of further potential softness. The spoiler, I suppose, is when you start looking down at the hourly. Although even with this, lower highs, lower lows, so you're going through daily, 4 hourly, hourly, all pushing south at the moment. However, there does look like it's taken a bit of a bounce, but this bounce may just give in to maybe a 21, 34, the 50 combination sitting there a bit higher. There is the daily pivot, which may be a draw. We'll just see how these move this morning, but at the moment looking soft across the board. I'm going back, I haven't looked at the euro this morning yet, so this is looking, as I said, it looks pretty much the second strongest by a way really, and against other pairings. Good solid move up. It is back into its previous, I've drawn this line, horizontal line on here. It seems to have been tested, retested yesterday. Maybe it's time it knocks its way and blocks its way through. It's certainly positive looking on here on this 4 hourly, but is it done the fifth wave and it's going to roll in a moment? We'll see. But it has put higher lows, higher highs in, particularly in this near term. It's not too far away. I'm talking about the previous highs there. Actually, the bodies of those highs are into its. It's right up into its R3, but it was really so consolidated yesterday. It's really come off my radar as a trading currency on its own, against the US dollar at the moment. But maybe it's trying to earn its way back on there, but not for now. But anyway, it does look like, well, there is the potential, and I would be wary of that into the R3 there. But certainly we've got that sort of bullish view there, and again bullish view on this hourly. So whereas the pound's negative on all three, the euro currently is bullish on all three here. It's just breaking the trend here and looking like it's got further upside. Okay, that's the euro. The dollar yen, dollar yen's a bit middling, a bit nowhere land, as I said, and you can see pretty much on the dailies here it's just still sticking in range here. The dailies on Monday we saw that sort of Monday we saw the sort of the push up there a little bit there. Tuesday it gave it back. Wednesday it looks like it's going back again. So neutral-ish. Come down the 4 hourly bars though, and look at this. And it's sort of, I've drawn this trend line on maybe last week, maybe earlier this week. But it seems to be hanging around that sort of level. It seems key. It's only had a couple of attempts of actually selling through it. At this stage, it looks bullish, the pound yen. So I would certainly look maybe a continuation of that. Smaller time frame here, where it's put a near-term higher low in here. So again, sort of more bullish looking, so more potential, more upside looking towards possibly that was R1 there, 107.96 area. So again, common thread apart from the daily is more neutral, as I say. Daily from it is a neutral basis, but the 4 hourly 60-minute looks a little bit more positive. Aussie dollar. Yeah, the Aussie's been I mean, yesterday it was certainly the most bullish. It's softened off the most, 0.5%. It's dropped against the US dollar, but it's not, in the big scheme of things, this is still a positive trend that we're seeing here. So we've got to be a bit careful. It didn't diverge. I was looking at this is a 4 hourly picture. It's a bit like the euro in a sense in terms of the price action. It's not quite a clearer 5-wave, but certainly that sort of wavy movement seen in it, and near-term sort of waves that we're seeing here, but no divergence on the RSI, on the MACD. It may be, a little bit on the RSI there. I'd like to see on both if some of these highs it's a bit more confirmation, but it might just chip back a little bit, but a bit more looking at down the time frames. Then it's say looking a bit softish there, looking softish here. Looks like a consolidation, maybe a drop point. The only thing I would say about this is when you look back here with the same sort of consolidation, slow old movement, and then it sort of started kicking off about 9 o'clock in the morning. So it is one of the stronger currencies. Normally it's, as I say, it's lagged badly over the evening there. Oops, let's have a look at it. Canadian dollar. And the Canadian dollar, well, again, it's very range bound on the dailies here, erring towards the lower side there. So it's strengthened a little bit there, a bit middling really where it's sitting at the moment. And well, you can see it's just fighting around about its 21, 4 hourly 21. It's just come down a little bit more. And well, yesterday it ran off. We'll see whether this can run off again. It's there's a clear trend line across there. The upside, well, potential, but the bigger picture sort of still gives hope on a further move back down towards those lows, the way it's shaping up at the moment. So if it was to start breaking these trends, it needs to really probably get below that 50.34 to be on the more conservative side of things, but could still run off towards that 38.79 area again. So it does look softish sitting there. So that's the US dollar CAD. Okay, and finally let's just have a quick look at oil. Seems to tie up nicely, and oil, following on the expiry, it's consolidated again, and off its ran yesterday. It did take it. I was just sort of watching it, and all of a sudden it went there at 12 o'clock then yesterday and pushed up quite well. So it's there's certainly a positive outlook for it at the moment. I'm sort of a little bit wary, and I'm still waiting for a bit of a more decent retrace. It may never happen, and it may be one of those that just gets away. But I would like a bit more of a solid retrace. We'll see as things are going continue to push. These are the sort of levels I expected at the end of the year, I must say, originally when I was looking at this. But the very fact that the producers have cut back production, obviously, and there seems to be a bit more reduction in stocks, that it gives it the opportunity to expand a little bit further. The OPEC ministers, one of the OPEC ministers spoke yesterday, and that's what helped this trigger up initially there, or certainly didn't stop it. Okay, so looking bullish, but has got an untouched daily pivot, but at this stage just technically bullish there. Okay, and finally let's have a look at the S&Ps. Start out from a daily point of view. So yesterday another bullish push up there, and again it's broken those prior highs over the last few days. Yesterday actually closed higher than that prior high there as well, so not only is it broken it, still struggling though. You can just about make out my 100 moving average is stalling things. You'd think that daily 200 might have got into the action there, but looking down the time frame, you can see, look, it's 4 hourly double top, bit of divergence around that double top. Not probably just make it, but a bit of divergence sitting around at the moment. Maybe we'll see a bit more of a correction from that later as we see it run through. On the hourlies here, lower high, so bit of softness at this stage. Now that of course could all change later on nearer the cash market, but it is looking a little bit softer around this double top. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. News wise today, sorry I should have mentioned that in the first place. Got bank holidays in Europe, French German bank holidays today. We've got the services data still coming out at 8:15, 8:30, 9 o'clock, so that's French and German services. Normally these figures I'd be watching them quite carefully, and they could still create a bit of buzz around the French, German, or let's say French, German, but across the euro, with the 9 o'clock European data, flash manufacturing data out. It, as I say, may create a bit of movement, but most of the numbers that are coming out at the moment is causing very little. What people are more interested in speakers, and we've got Fed speaker at 7:30, Fed Chair Powell speaking at 7:30 this evening, and services manufacturing in the US at 2:45. But in the main, a lot of these figures coming out, there's plenty, as I say, plenty of them. We've got the actually flash manufacturing and services data coming out for the UK at 9:30 as well. So if you're trading a pound, just be a bit wary, because they might start giving some movement, but till now they've been pretty overlooked. Have a great day. Bye for now.